did I imagine myself being here? No, absolutely not. Hey y'all, so I am here in Cancun. It is currently July 19th. What time is it? It is 6:37 in the evening. Just chilling out by the pool. I leave on the 21st, and I just wanted to come in on here and tell you guys a little bit about me, well, a lot about me, and where I came from, and how I got to the, to being a notary, why, and all of that. But first, let me show you the view. Beautiful, right? So, let me see if I can, where did I start? I graduated high school in 2011. Cass Tech High School, Cass Technical High School. Those of you, any of you went there, 011. Before I went to high school, I wanted to be a lot of things. I wanted to work in a morgue, I wanted to be in a CSI, blah, blah, blah. Got to high school and I kind of had the thought of wanting to be a nurse. So I majored in chem bio major. Enjoyed it, all of that. Fast forwarding out of high school, my family wanted me to go to college, or that's what they were encouraging or saying, college, that's the way to go. So I went to college. I wanted to go. I wanted to be a nurse. I think that's what I settled on as I graduated. So I went to Eastern Michigan University. I applied to Eastern Michigan, Grand Valley, Bowling Green University, which is in Ohio, and I want to say one other place. I feel like a Southern Black university. I don't remember, but I ended up at EMU with the nursing major. First 2 years, I did prereqs. I did okay. The physiology and anatomy portion was always tough. It was tough for me. I couldn't get past a C. But my first 2 years were rough internally. I dealt with depression. I had a lot going on at home that I chose to deal with, and I didn't know how to separate the two. I didn't know how to not worry about home life and just focus on me and being in college and studying and, my life as an individual. So because of that, it just didn't work out for me. So with the nursing major, I went to my advisor after the second year, and she's saying, due to the C that I got in physiology and anatomy, and this was already my second time around taking the class, so that's my financial aid being used up, So I don't know. She just said right off the back, you should probably think about switching majors. I said, there was no, she didn't give any other advice. It was just like a black and white. You should just switch. It was very cold. It wasn't very encouraging or anything. So that was one punch to the stomach. So I looked into other majors that were in the medical field. I've always had a passion for helping people. I love to be there for other people. So I wanted to stay in that realm. So I came across recreational therapy and knew nothing about it. I said, okay, I'll try it, Got into it, started with it. Recreational therapy is basically holistic. It focuses on the whole person. It's not just physical. It's physical. It focuses on, social, spiritual, mental. Like, it focuses on the whole person. You know how you have physical therapy, occupational therapy. This deals with all of that combined in one, and it utilizes recreation as a form of therapy. And unfortunately, not in the medical field, they don't take recreational therapy serious because of it, because they feel like, oh, it's just a bunch of games, you're just playing games or going out on outings. What does that do? But I've had so many experiences where it changed a person's life so much. So with that being said, I ended up loving it, enjoying it. Got through 2 years with that, and I actually got to the point where I got to the internship. And so at this point, I was in love with Atlanta. I said, I want to go to Atlanta. I always thought about it. I just enjoyed being there. It felt like a second home. And at that time, I was dancing with the dance team, and we traveled there multiple times a year. So it grew on me. So I was looking into internships, and somehow ended up in Atlanta, in Douglasville, Georgia, and working in a psychiatric treatment center with youth, neglected youth, abused youth. That was truly an eye-opener. I mean, it was aspects of it. It was sad to see all those young children have been abused and neglected, and they have so many mental issues and things like that, and a lot of them were on the autistic spectrum, so there was a lot of that too. And it was just, in our portion, it was called experiential therapy, where they use equine therapy with the horses. They did canoes. They were out doing group activities and things like that. So I was there for 4 months. That was a great experience, and I actually considered moving there, but I wasn't ready, and I still had classes to finish in school. So I get back from my internship in Michigan, and at this point I'm thinking I only had one class to finish, one major class to finish. So I called the advisor, and I asked him, okay, so what's next after this internship? And they're saying, oh, well, we're calculating the credits. I actually had 3 gen eds to finish, along with my one major class. So at that point, honestly, my financial aid was exhausted, really. And on top of that, I had an extra bill to pay that I had to pay back before being able to finish any of my classes. So at this point, I was back in Detroit. Eastern Michigan is in Ypsilanti, next to Ann Arbor. And so after my internship, of course, I have to pay this bill back. But unfortunately, a college student, broke college student, I don't have that kind of money. And I didn't, honestly, my family members that were helping me at the time, they had done so much for me. I've always been used to kind of getting on my own. There was not much else I could get. I didn't think I could get much else from them. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to take some time to figure out, okay, how are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? Yada, yada. So I get home, back to Detroit. I get a job. I think I got a job working in stock at Meijer, midnight shift. I think it was part-time. That was literally just a job. It wasn't something that I can say I enjoyed. It was something that I did. I had my own car. I had to take care of that. So that was that. And then I was only there about a few months. I wasn't there long because I think I was going back to school. So I told them, hey, I have to go. So that was that. And then I can remember, I think after that, I worked housekeeping at Beaumont Hospital in Troy for a few months. And at the time, now I'm remembering. So after working there at Meijer, I decided to take a certified patient care technician course. And it's to be a CNA, certified patient care. It was a whole class that was about 4 or 5 months long. It started in April, and so I was going to do that. So while I was doing that, After that, I passed. I did really well in that. Of course, I enjoyed it. But honestly, the place where I went to get that certification, I think I wasted my money, but because here we are. But that was an experience that I wanted to do. At the time, I felt like if I don't do that, I would feel like I'm regretting something. It was something that was just in my spirit to do, and I did it. And during that process, I met two lovely young ladies that are still in my life today, Kiara and Satoya. And honestly, if that's all that I could have got from that experience, I'll take it, because they are amazing young women. If you see this video, hey, I love them so much and truly grateful to have met them. So, fast forwarding and finishing that course, at the end you look for jobs and all that. They help you job hunt and whatever. But being that you didn't have experience, a lot of places, wouldn't even hire you. So I ended up at Beaumont working as a housekeeper in Troy. That, of course, they had said while I was doing the application, do you want to just apply to be a CNA? And I said no. I don't know why I did. I think because I don't know if it was, I didn't think I would get hired or if I wasn't ready, but I didn't apply for that. So I ended up being a housekeeper, and I was only there a few months because in my heart, I knew I was not supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to be doing that. I didn't feel like I was helping anybody. I didn't feel seen. I just felt like I was in the background. So I'm not one to be somewhere where I'm not happy. I don't want to work a job where I'm miserable. That's not a life to live for me. That's what I think. So that was that. I left there. After that, I did home care, and I ended up at Beaumont in a rehab in West Bloomfield, and I did recreational therapy. I was an aide where I helped, the recreation department do activities with the residents and things like that. Now that pertained to the recreational therapy, what I majored in college. So that was one of my things. Now I enjoyed that. Unfortunately, my coworkers, people I worked with in my office, they weren't very positive. They didn't give a positive experience. They gossiped a lot. They had so many negative things to say about each other and just where we'd worked, and so it just rubbed off on me in a negative way. And I also noticed that I wouldn't say envious, but I can tell that they talked about me behind my back, because at one point I did put in a proposal to create my own program to do with the residents. And creating your own program is basically, I created an activity to do with residents and something that would make me feel like I'm making a difference. And I don't know, these were old. One of them was an older lady, and maybe she felt like I was stepping on her toes or just trying to be teacher's pet or something. But no, it's just I'm trying to make this job enjoyable for myself so I can stay here a little longer than expected. So I felt the negative energy with that. And then that's when COVID started. Maybe a month after I started my activity that I created, the shutdown had started. So March. So this is March 2019. Backing up to the summer of 2018, maybe going into fall, that's when I discovered a notary. I was on YouTube, flipping, clicking on different videos. And I remember clicking on a video talking about being a notary. And, I was in general interested in it, what it was, and it looked cool, but I didn't look into it or do a whole bunch of research. I said, okay, I kept it in mind. So fast forwarding to me losing my job in 2019, where, now I'm looking for what's my next step. I'm like, I didn't think I was going to be in West Bloomfield that long anyway, so I looked at it as a sign that I'm supposed to move forward and continue looking and going into what I'm supposed to be doing. So this is the summer. This is March, the summer of 2019. Don't have a job, so I go back to doing shipped. So I'm doing that summer. And honestly, due to the climate that it was at the time, I made quite a bit of money working with shipped. At one point, I made over $1,000 in a week. So I was grateful to have that avenue, when losing my job. So I make decent money, but it's exhausting for your car. So after so long, I kind of had to slow down because I have an older car. It's an '03 Buick, and it takes a toll on that, and you don't get reimbursed for stuff like that. So during maybe June, July, the end of 2019, the summer, I started thinking, okay, what's next? What am I going to do? So I'm on YouTube scrolling again, and the notary thing pops up again. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me really look into it, try to understand it and what it is. And as I was doing my research, I realized, hey, this sounds interesting. I create my own schedule. It's kind of like my own business. Let me look into it. So I did my research, all of that. So I said, you know what? I just made a decision. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. So one thing after another, one step after another. Here we are. What is it? July of 2020. And I'm just about 6 months into being a notary. I thoroughly enjoy it. I love meeting new people, helping others, and I still feel like I am helping others in a way, and continue on in my journey to my next step. And did I imagine myself being here? No, absolutely not. If you asked me this even a year and a half ago, which was still COVID, I would have told you, I don't know what I would have told you, but maybe 2 years from now, I would have said, no, I'm going to be in the medical field. That's what I thought that I was going to be in my whole life, working with patients, doing something in a hospital. So it's just interesting, the direction that life takes you, if you let life take you in the direction that it's meant to go in. Yeah, we have free will. We can make decisions for ourselves, and we can alter our lives to be what we think is best for us. But when you go down the path of being led, it's different, and it's a different experience, and you'll gather different experiences rather than just having to be in control of everything. Tomorrow isn't promised. You don't know what's in store next year. You don't never know what will happen. One time you'll have everything, and then next week you could lose it all. So I'm grateful that I've had the strength to continue to move forward, even through the losses that I've experienced, through the trials and tribulations and stresses, and I've come a long way, and I've grown a lot, and I'm just excited for the next step and whatever I decide to do. But I know one thing is that I choose to be happy first and foremost. Whatever I choose to do, I choose to be happy, and I know that I'm going to continue to succeed and just attain any and everything that I choose to attain, that I want in life. So, and that's my advice to you guys. Whatever you do, just make sure that you're happy. I don't feel like you have to satisfy everybody around you and to have this image and to be, keeping up with the Joneses and things like that. Just keep up with yourself. Be happy within yourself. Be happy with what you have in life, and go with that. And worry about you. Get yourself together first, and just enjoy life. At the end of the day, enjoy it, because it's short. It can be short. Time moves fast. So For those of you out there whose journey has been altered like mine, who thought that they would have been doing something else their whole life, and now they're here, and like if you're a notary now and you were doing had a totally different career 2 years ago, this is for you. Like, keep going, don't give up, don't feel like you failed. You know, this is not the end of it. So from me to you, sending all my love, strength, and